Welcome back, dear students. We have started with the chapter structure of an atom. In our previous class, we have discussed regarding photoelectric effect. How does photoelectric effect is going to be considered for a calculation part we have seen, and how exactly emission of electrons, that is from the surface, they are going to be ejected through the photoelectric effect. All those things we have discussed. And today we shall start with a particular part of this chapter and consider to be a most important part of the structure of an atom, that is Bohr's atomic model. Previous atomic models like Rutherford's and all, they have been deleted from your chapter, and directly we are moving on to this one. And there is some quantum mechanical model is also there. As it is bit complex, generally we do not tend to practice with that one. Only the Bohr's atomic model, which is easiest part and it is being given for your syllabus, we will understand the things in detail. So when you consider structure of an atom, particularly we defined what exactly the meaning of atom is: a tiny particle which cannot be further divided. So how exactly this structure, what exactly is made of atom, what exactly is made of, all those things are going to be discussed in this chapter. For that, many scientists have been worked upon, and one of the model which is being given and from proficiently it is being accepted from all. So now we'll consider structure of an atom. So when you consider particularly Bohr's model for the atomic structure, we will be defining some of the postulates which were given by Bohr. He has done various experiments and he has made many of the practicals on the atom, discovery of atoms or sub atomic particles which are present. All those things he summarized and he has given some of the postulates. Postulates are nothing but the main core points or important points regarding that study he has made. Now see here, I have drawn a structure for the atom given by Bohr. Let us understand in depth regarding this one. We all know an atom is made of central nucleus, okay, and the same was given by Bohr, which is positively charged. This is said to be nucleus of an atom which is considered to be positively charged. Okay, so that is itself is first postulate given by Bohr. Now see here, postulates I have mentioned. Very first one, if you consider an atom has a central massive core. Massive in the sense mass. Massive means heavier. Heavier central core present in an atom. It is called as nucleus. Nucleus is generally made of protons and neutrons. Protons and neutrons are present in the nucleus. We all know protons positively charged, neutrons no charge. Due to positively charged particles present in the nucleus, nucleus will be heavier in nature. That was the first postulate given by Bohr. Then if you move to the next postulate, and one more point I have mentioned here, that is nucleus is considered to be very small in size compared to atom. Any other situations present in the atom, if you compare that one, nucleus is considered to be very small. That's it. You are supposed to remember that much. Next, the electron in an atom revolves around a nucleus in a fixed path. That path in which we find probability of finding the electron is maximum, which is stationary in nature. That path is stationary in nature or it is non-radiating in nature is called as an orbit. That will be called as an orbit. In your NCERT, they have used many of the terminologies, that is stable, non-radiating, fixed path, which is called as orbit. So now in the orbit what happens? We will be finding the revolving electrons, positively charged nucleus which has revolving electrons in a fixed path called as an orbit. Now I have drawn here in order to make that thing clear. This is said to be nucleus which has positively charged particles as well negatively charged particles, and surroundingly I have some of the fixed paths which are called as orbits. Now here the dots which I representing are nothing but revolving electrons. Revolving electrons. But the thing is orbitals, orbits which are present around the nucleus is fixed. So this is all about the second postulate given by Bose. So two postulates we have discussed here. At the center we have the nucleus present with protons and neutrons. The second postulate, if you consider, nucleus is surrounded by fixed paths or non-radiating paths in which we will be having the electrons revolving. And that path which is stationary in nature is called as orbit. I have shown with the diagram. Just please copy this one. We'll move to the next postulate. Coming to the next postulate, which is considered to be a third postulate of Bohr. What exactly he tells in his third postulate, let us understand. An electron can move only in a permissive orbits, that is stationary phases, or they are called as orbits. They are permissive orbits in which electrons revolve with a fixed angular momentum. With a fixed angular momentum of an integral multiples of h by 2 pi of n multiple integrals. Multiple integrals is not a big deal or the big concept we cannot understand and all. Nothing like that. Just see. An electron will be moving. I'll diagrammatically represent this postulate. Explanation will be more easy. See here. I know it is nucleus. I'll be having one first shell. I'll be having second shell. Likewise, I have third shell. Okay. Wherein this is considered to be a first, this is considered to be a second, and it is considered to be a third shell in which nucleus is surrounded by three shells. What exactly the meaning? MVR is nothing but angular momentum. That is rotation of an electron. How does it rotates? See here, if it is rotating in first shell, then it is considered as angular momentum or electron is present in first shell. Likewise, we have electron at the second shell, or we can say that electron is revolving in second. Likewise, it is in third, means electron revolving in third shell. These are called as integers. Integral multiples in the sense they must be with a fixed value of 1, 2, 3 and so on, but never be fractions. Fractions in the sense, see here, I have 1. If it is 1 and 2, if you consider, it is 1 and half here in middle portion. Electron never be found in between these areas, between N2 and N3, between N1 and N2. They must be found either in 1 or in 2, either in 2 or in 3, but never in between. That is called as electrons will be revolving in fixed permissive orbits, which are integral multiples of values. So now how we have to represent that one? See here, this is the representation, h by 2 pi. Pi in the sense it is a kind of radius, that is we are considering distance from the nucleus to the first shell if it is electron is present in first shell, or we can consider distance from nucleus to the second shell if electron is present in second shell. That radius are represent as 2 pi, represent as its a radius. So now with all these just explanation of the postulate, one formula which is considered as empirical formula. He has done various calculations, various things he has done. At last he concluded this is the empirical formula of which derivation we do not need. Just remember this one, wherein MVR equal to NH by 2 pi, where M stands for mass of an electron, okay, where V stands for velocity of an electron, R stands for radius of an orbit, radius of an orbit. If it is having radius from here to here, it is R. We can call it as R, distance from the nucleus to the first shell. If it has distance from here to here, second electron in a second shell, if you consider, this is R dash, this radius is R dash, that is it. Now these are the things, and we all know H is nothing but it is Planck's constant. It is said to be Planck's constant. With the help of this formula which was given by Bose, we can calculate the radius, velocity of the radius, how much it is, and in which radius electron is revolving. All those calculations can be done with this. This is the second postulate. Permissive orbits in which electron will be revolving in the integral multiples of h by 2 pi values. Never be the fractions. Take this, we'll move to the next. Moving on to the fourth postulate, which is called as emission or absorption of radiation by an atom takes place when an electron jumps from one stationary orbit to another. Don't bother about this big sentence and all. I'll explain you. I'll let you know the things. See here, what exactly meaning of this postulate given by Bose. So as per the thing, photoelectric effect we have discussed in our last session, wherein we will be providing a radiation with a fixed wavelength which is passed onto the metal surface and electron is going to be ejected. That is called as photoelectric effect. Similarly, we will be having electron revolving in an orbit, and whenever you provide certain amount of energy to that electron, it absorbs that amount of energy given and it jumps to the higher energy level. I'll let you know the things with a diagram. See here, I have positively charged nucleus, I have an electron revolving, and I have the next shell. Let us consider this is an electron which is stable in its state. When it is stable, we are going to provide certain amount of energy to it. When amount of energy is being provided to the electron, it absorbs certain amount of energy. When it is absorbing certain amount of energy, definitely it is going to jump to the higher energy level. That is called as absorption. Similarly, when an electron jumps to higher energy level, it will be most unstable. In order to get its stability back, what it does, it will be releasing certain amount of energy and it will be coming back to its original state. When it comes back to its original state, that is in an inner orbit, it will be releasing certain amount of energy. That amount of energy released by an electron can be seen in the form of color. That is called as emission. Release of energy is called as emission, whereas absorbing or taking the energy given by fixed wavelength, it is called as absorption. So what exactly electron does here? I think you have got to know the things. Electron will be stable within an atom when amount of energy with a fixed wavelength is being given to the electron. What it does, it gains certain amount of energy. Okay, let us move, it will say, and it will move to the next higher energy level. Once it goes to higher energy level, it will be highly unstable. In order to become stable, what it does, it loses its energy. After losing its energy, it will be coming back to the original state. While coming back to original state, it is going to release certain amount of energy which we see in the form of color. That is called as emission. This is absorption and this is emission. That is what given by Bose. Emission or absorption of radiation by an atom takes place when an electron jumps from one stationary orbit to another. This is stationary inner orbit, n equal to 1. When electron is gaining energy, it will be moving to n equal to 2. That is it. So this is all about the fourth postulate given by Bose. Copy it, we'll move to next. Okay, dear students, now let us understand fifth postulate given by Bose. What he says in his fifth postulate, let us understand. Radiation is emitted or absorbed as a single quantum. We have seen quantum mechanical theory in which we will be understanding the electron radiation absorption in the form of quanta. We have discussed that one. See now, we will be having radiation emitted or absorbed by a single quantum, that is nothing but in the form of photon. Photon is a packet of energy. Energy will be moved in the form of packet. So, whose energy is equal to the difference of energy of an electron in the two orbits involved. So, see here. So, I have electron revolving here. Okay. And it absorbs certain amount of energy. It will be moving to the next shell. If it is n equal to 1, this will be n equal to 2. Electron is moving here. It means it is absorbing energy. Due to absorption, it is moving to next energy shell. Similarly, it may come back to the energy shell. It may be first energy shell, or if it is coming from the fourth, fifth to the first energy shell, that is also countable. To which energy shell electron has moved, and from which shell it is coming back to the state or lower state, that difference is nothing but energy absorbed by an electron. It is not necessary that I pardon my words, just be carefully understand what I am telling here. Electron is present here. It is not necessary that we have only two shells. We may have many of the orbits also called as shells, common. Now we have many of them. It is not necessary that electron will be moving to only to the next shell itself. No, it may move to the fourth, fifth, so on. And when it absorbs energy, it will move to the higher energy shells. And when it loses energy, it will be coming back to the shells. It is not that from where it has been absorbed. It may come back to second, third, fourth, and so on. That difference in energy from where it has been moved to where it is coming, that difference in energy itself is called as energy absorbed by an electron. This postulate, fifth postulate explained here, will be in detail explained by hydrogen spectrum. Now question arises, what do you mean by spectrum and all? In order to understand the things very in detail, we have to go for the hydrogen spectrum, which is hydrogen, which is considered to be a simplest atom having only the electron. It has become very easy to understand the things. Once we understand how does hydrogen spectrum is being formed and what are the changes we have seen there, all are going to be applicable for fifth postulate given by Bose. Just copy this one. I make these things in detail, or I make these things clear by taking that diagram. Copy this, we'll move to next. Okay, now dear students, I have drawn here a diagram for spectrum, hydrogen spectrum. See how does experimental setup has made, what is the chemistry behind this diagram, we'll understand. Now I have a glass tube here. This is said to be glass tube which is directly attached for the gas tube which is attached to the discharge. It is going to be discharged further. Now, so this is filled by hydrogen gas. Gas discharge is going to take place in which it is filled by hydrogen gas. Once gas discharge tube is provided with a charge, it is going to pass the light. So see here, when electrons start moving, we are going to fix one strip here. This putting the strip is mainly because to get the thin layers or thin strips of the light which is passing from the hydrogen gas tube. Now, when it is moving to slits, it is further passed over the prism. We all know prisms, Nichols prisms we will be knowing. It is going to be passed to the prism. Once it get passed to the prism, hydrogen being one electron, it is going to arrange in a different wavelength. In a different wavelength, we will be getting these lines. This is nothing but photographic film. This is called as photographic film. Photographic film is showing us different strips which are arranged in the increasing order of their wavelength. This is nothing but which are lines or particularly line which is light which is passed over here, it is going to be arranged in the increasing order of their wavelength, due to which we are observing many lines in the photographic field. That is the reason why exactly we are going to refer fifth postulate. What is the exact wavelength which is being absorbed by the electron is going to be moving to higher energy state. While coming back also it is going to release a certain amount of energy, that is called as emission. Now this is the hydrogen gas which is filled in the glass tube. It is going to be passed over the slits to make it strips of light. Further, it is going to be passed over prism. Prism has given us different wavelength lights which have been taken on a photographic film. Okay, so this is nothing but hydrogen spectrum is being observed in the form of strips or in the form of lines. That is why it is called as line spectrum of hydrogen. Why? What is the main reason behind that we are getting these lines in the photographic film, and how to exactly check out what are these different wavelength strips which have been seen in the photographic film? All those things we have to understand. I'll let you know the things in detail which is being given in NCERT. We will be going in detail from the NCERT text. Just copy this one. We'll move to next.